I like to look for ways that angels may be helping people of all faiths move toward the message that Jesus taught, whether they recognize Jesus as divine or not. The Urantia Book refers to these angels as the angels of the churches, and they serve as a good reminder that God is willing to work with anyone who is eager to be of use. Pope Francis has recently given us all an example of this. He's approved a revision to the English translation of the Lord's Prayer, which happens to move it much more in line with the Urantia Book's version of this prayer. The traditional translation has a line that says, "Lead us not into temptation," which gives people the unfortunate impression of a tricky God. So Francis and a group of Catholic higher-ups have said that an improved translation would be, "Abandon us not when in temptation." The Urantia Book also has a version of this prayer, which Jesus taught to the apostles and to his family, though keep in mind, he always did advocate praying to God in a more personal way, but at people's insistence, he gave them this prayer to use as a resource. Jesus prayed, "Our Father, who is in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our bread for tomorrow. Refresh our souls with the water of life. And forgive us every one of our debts, as we also have forgiven our debtors. Save us in temptation, deliver us from evil, and increasingly make us perfect like yourself." So what's the difference between these three versions? Let's start with "Lead us not into temptation." Francis puts it quite bluntly. He says, "A father doesn't do that. A father helps you to get up immediately. It's Satan who leads us into temptation. That's his department." While I would argue that we are fully capable of getting ourselves into trouble without any help from Satan, I couldn't agree more with Francis's assessment of the role of the father. What's more, I love to consider the similarities between the new translation and the Urantia version, partly because it reinforces my belief that the angels of the churches are helping to move everybody toward the message that Jesus taught, and partly because it shows that even when every English-speaking Christian was reading the old prayer, the Urantia Book was already teaching the improved meaning. Having been raised by loving parents, and with the teachings of the Urantia Book, imagery of a tricky God simply makes no sense to me. Sometimes bad things just happen, and a good parent helps us out of it. If you are one of those people who did not have a good example set for you, then forge in your mind the best possible parent and live your life with that imagery in mind, and you will find that the reality of God far surpasses your imagination.